When I say Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon is overrated, I'm by no means saying it's a bad album, and to prove that I'm here to give the album a proper review. Released in 1973, this album is the gold standard of the album era, a period of time in which albums became the main selling point of a band rather than singles or live acts. It's also known as one of the first and most prolific examples of the concept album, because even though the album doesn't really follow a certain lyrical narrative, the themes of the songs all revolve around things like greed, mortality, the passing of time, and the struggles of mental illness. There's an extreme focus in clearly representing the theme of a song not only through the lyrics, but through the sounds themselves. Though subtle at times, things like Time being one of the longest songs in the album, On the Run having that fast rhythm and synths, or Money featuring sounds of cash registers, coins, and bills being ripped apart are great examples of this. The attention to detail in this album is admirable, perhaps the best in the band's discography. You can really tell how invested the entire band was, and the fact that they produced the album themselves makes it even more impressive because production in this album is pristine. Much like the Rolling Stones did back in 1969 in songs like Give Me Shelter, Pink Floyd was not afraid to take the back seat in order to fully capture the intensity needed in a performance, as seen in one of the most cinematic moments in the history of music, the Great Gig in the Sky with vocals from the super talented Claire Torre. This is also by far the most accessible album by the band, holding some of the band's most popular songs, along with the fact that most of them stay within the 4 to 5 minute mark, which leads me to my next point. Although the band does a fantastic job capturing the theme of the lyrics in every song, it's almost impossible not to compare it to some of the other works by the band, especially those that came after. And I know that 10 or 20 plus minute songs are not for everybody, I get it, but it's undeniable that the band went on to flesh out these themes with a lot more detail and, more importantly, depth in future albums. But that's pretty much it when it comes to the negative. That's my only complaint about this album, and the only reason I say it's overrated. This can't be the best album ever made if it's not even the best album by the band. But everything else, from its concept, to the way that concept was used to create the atmosphere of the album, to the sonic representation of that concept in every song, everything about this album is almost perfect. So, even though it may not be the best the band has to offer, and that's a hill I'll die on, it's most definitely a masterpiece. One with moments that truly feel like the pinnacle of rock music, and one that made many fans get into one of the most incredible genres music has to offer as well. So yeah, great album.